Jobs and the wages. So our hourly wage that we said we would hit, we're actually 24% over the hourly wage. So we're at least hitting that part. Unfortunately, the jobs that we were at that point and said we would hit, I'll be honest, we're well under that, but due to the 50% reduction from when we filed that initial one to 2023, that was kind of put a hurt on the overall employees. So we do, there has been an uptick in business this year. We have been hiring some additional employees. I expect this second half of the year to even ramp up more, where we can bring in even more employees and then continue to see that growth in the future. I think it might be a while for us, a few years before we could hit that employee count that we said we would, but I think we're trending back in the right direction. So.
Any further questions?
Yeah, just a couple of questions. We just try to take a little temperature of the companies that come before us and ask for abatements. And your building is fantastic looking. It's a great addition. I'm sure that I go by it 2 or 3 times a week, and I see your progress, and it's really wonderful. And I remember the original story and what have you. But to get an idea of the climate out there, we always seem to have an lack of employee. Are your jobs so specific that they need special training, or can you get someone who walks in off the street with some competency to be trained at where you're at?
A couple different levels of employment. Our production workers is traditionally Elkhart has had a very tight labor market. We have a type of production process with our what we produce in the electronic field that requires a lot of hand-eye coordination. So we get a lot of second job type of people that apply. We have been successful in fulfilling those jobs recently, but that was extremely difficult a couple years ago when the RV industry was booming. We also hire high-level engineers, software engineers, application engineers, that type of stuff. We are experiencing a difficulty. We probably can hire 3 or 4 right now, high-tech type of software engineers that it seems from locating them to Elkhart or finding some of those applicants that have that knowledge that we seek in Elkhart has been difficult, but we are working our way through that.
So, okay, that's really all the questions.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and for answering our questions.
Thank you.
At this time, I was going to. Do you have another question?
I have a question of Drew on this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Airdrop, no, that's not a good term. Their last day for compliant / investment would be the end of this year, 12/31. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. At that point, let's just talk about a scenario here. If we did a check and a balance throughout the rest of the year, if we found them in compliance within our rules, and then they didn't make it, would there be a check and a balance along the way to make sure that because they're confident they're going to make it?
We certainly, we've been working on standards and procedures for tax phase-ins, and we definitely plan on checking in with all businesses that are still within in their ERA, and making sure they're going to get there. I do want to mention one detail. Personal property is self-reported, and the assessment unlike real property, the assessment takes place in May, so they would technically have until their I believe it's May 10th deadline to make personal property investments.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring that up, folks, is just we want to get an idea. We don't want to throttle down our economy. We want to give everybody as much support as we possibly can, and it's a challenge when we come out of a COVID year, a cycle, and we've still got this lack of employee type problem, if you will.
And we certainly look at the long, the long-term investment of their beautiful new building and items like that when we're viewing these phases.
Those are important aspects, a new building, getting things focused in, because that's what I appreciated about bringing everything into one particular plant so you can manage and control that. Those are important factors for profitability in the future. We just want to we want to get you there sooner, but it's very difficult when you're not meeting our requirements and you've got those challenges at your location. Does that make sense? Yeah, so
just for clarification's sake, you stated it was May for personal property? Because to my understanding, if it had to be purchased and installed by the end of the ERA, and that May was just the reporting time for that. Is that correct?
That's correct. I misspoke when describing that scenario.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any questions, Councilman Gray? Okay. At this time, I will close discussion and ask for a motion, and I guess I would be the second. And this is for both, let's see, just personal property and real estate, I believe. So it is both. Uh, 24-R-21.
Drew, I have a question. If you could come up here. Ask one question for clarification purposes. Sure. Well, what is their ERA? What?
Their ERA, it's December 31st, 2024. Okay. So they have until that time to make investments in personal property and real property that are eligible for abatement and count towards their compliance.
I wanted to have that on the record. Thank you.
And the staff recommendation is
that they are in compliance given they're still in their ERA and their considerable investment in real property.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-21 with a finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance both in personal and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I will ask the clerk to please read proposed resolution 24-R-25 by title only.
Proposed resolution 24-R-25, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Marine Realty LLC, DBA Bennington Marine South, are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits and the Memorandum of Agreement approved under resolution numbers R-44-22, R-48-22, and R-49-22.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew and comments from the company representative. Drew, welcome back.
Drew Wines, Economic Development. So Bennington Marine's South project was a considerable investment in real property, new new office space on the south end of their property. I toured it. It's a wonderful facility. They knocked it out of the park for their real property investment. They are down in new jobs added. That the marine industry is down significantly. They've had some issues, but they are confident that it does depend on the pontoon industry, but they think that it is possible to become compliant for new jobs added. And I would like to add the wages are excellent and compliant for new jobs.
All right, thank you. Is there a representative?
We actually have
Oh, could you
Darren
please
Schaefer
state your, Derek.
Yeah, I'm Lindy Lehman. I'm the Director of Accounting for Bennington. And we also have Darren Schaefer, I believe, maybe on the phone. He said he couldn't hear, but there they are.
Hi, welcome. All right. Any questions?
You want to make a presentation first? Or is there anything you need to say, want to say?
Darren, Sean, do you guys want to say anything, or would you like me to? Oh,
You'll need to put your mic on.
No, you're still muted.
Nope.
Sorry, there we go.
There we go.
We would just like to state that, and Lindy's got a little bit of the verbiage in front of her, but we spent the funds that we had originally applied for. The pontoon industry is off approximately 50% from the time we filed for the abatement. We did retain approximately 90% of the jobs and believe we have good faith effort to get there in the next coming 12 to 18 months to bring back employment.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
You need to say
no,
anything?
I second Darren's comments. The spend was definitely there, and even though the industry is down significantly, we are keeping employment above what the downturn is and expect it to come back within the hopefully shorter term.
And this is just for real estate. This is not for personal property, correct?
Just real estate and employees,
Okay.
correct?
And they have until the end of this year for the ERA, I believe.
For the record, Drew is shaking his head yes. That'd be 12/31/24.
Yep. Councilman Curry. Please make sure your mic's on.
Yeah, my one question I do have, it says retain jobs 125, you say you retained 115, and new jobs you added 5. So the 10 people were laid off? Will I read that?
Through attrition, there were a very, very, very few layoffs done, but most of it's just through attrition without currently rehiring.
Oh, that was my next question. Would those 10 people be rehired, but some of them have moved on to other opportunities?
Yeah, most of it was attrition, have moved on to other opportunities, but there are still open positions as people, some of the positions have turned that we do have open. We aren't completely, closing out the hiring right now.
Net, we think we're within 5 individuals of where we need to be.
5 of where they need to be.
Okay, thanks.
Now, for the new jobs, total wages, is that just new hire wages, and after a while they are paid more, or is this a reduction in the overall pay scale? Because I know, when you first have a job, the first 90 days or 6 months, you have a lower wage. I see here the wages are lower for the new hires. Is that what's expected? Was there a change in policy there, or?
Some of it could be based on production rates, so we do have
It's a
certain
rate.
bonuses and such based on production rates, which could affect it. And it could be just the skill level needed. I mean, there are very skilled jobs, even in the production floor, that pay more. So just depending on the mix of that at the current time or when we applied for this.
Okay.
But I would say overall entry-level wages have not significantly changed or decreased at all.
Thank you. Any-
So I've got a question for the gentleman on screen. Our current economic situation across the country, I know you're down, but I think the climate is still favorable to, I don't want to say rebound, I guess just regenerate itself. Is that an accurate statement? I mean, the money supply is still good. Banks are still lending for the most part, from what I've read. What do you think? Could you read the market a little bit? I'm not
Yeah, I
trying to
mean,
lead you. I'm not trying to lead you here. I'd like to know accurately how your industry and RV industries are able to weather some of these big sweeps down on your, numbers down.
Yeah, great question. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into the remainder of this year. The biggest headwind that we're seeing on consumers is obviously the interest rate environment continues to remain high. We think within the next, call it 12 to 18 months, at the end of that, we'll be through that and are looking forward to next year where we'd like to see some growth. So yeah, we think we'll get through it, but we do think, especially in the area of discretionary purchases, which happens to be a lot of our business, there are still some headwinds on our customers, and we're paying close attention to it on a monthly basis right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion at this time? Okay, at this time, I will close discussion and ask for a motion and a second from myself, I guess.
I move to adopt, excuse me, I have to turn back here and get that.
24-R-25.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-25 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance for, which is only real property at this time.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, I'll ask the clerk to read proposed resolution 24-R-22 by title only.
Proposed resolution 24-R-22, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Big Dog Adhesives LLC 435 properties and 615 properties are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits, personal property, and the Memorandum of Agreement approved under resolution numbers R-19-21, R-26-21, and R-27-21.
All right, at this time, I'm going to open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew, will you lead us, please?
Thank you, Councilman Mishler. Big Dog Adhesives was unable to complete their project. Their ERA ended at the end of 23. We have spoke to the company. They understand the situation, and so we will be moving to terminate their phase-in. They have not received any tax phase-in benefits.
There were no benefits that they received.
No benefits.
Okay, well, that's pretty cut and dry then. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, at this point, Councilman Curry, any questions?
No.
All right, at this time, I will close discussion and ask for a motion. Drew, real quick. Was this real, personal? What do we got?
This was a 3-year personal property phase-in.
3-year personal. Thank you.
So I move that to deny proposed resolution 24-R-22, not with a finding that the property owner has not complied with conditions of our agreement. I think that's a
All right, I will second that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. Motion carries. At this time, I will ask the clerk to read proposed resolution 24-R-27 by title only.
Proposed Resolution 24-R-27, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Champion Manufacturing, Inc., CR 17 Land Development LLC are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-41-19, R-42-19, and R-43-19.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew?
So Champion Manufacturing has ceased operations in Elkhart as of November of last year. We are moving to claw back the phase-in benefits they received, and we have prepared a letter that we are still speaking internally, but we're going to send to them, and they have 30 days to schedule a meeting with us, and after that period of time, if they agree to that they violate the MOA and that the amount of money we are clawing back is if they agree to that, then it terminates, and they have 30 days from that agreement to pay the city. And if they don't agree, they will schedule a meeting with us, and then we do have to follow up with a formal council meeting.
Okay. Do we know how much it is that would be clawed back? What was the amount that they were awarded?
I'm unsure of the exact amount. We can certainly look into it and follow up with council.
Okay, thank you. And was this personal property or
This was so they had a real and personal property.
real and personal? Thank you.
Question?
Yes.
When's the 30-day clock start?
When we send the letter, it's the date of the statement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Curry, any questions?
I'm good.
Is there any representatives here from the company? Okay. I have no questions at this time, and I'm going to close discussion, and I will ask for a motion.
I move to deny proposed resolution 24-R-27 with the finding that the property owners have not been in substantial compliance with statement of benefits for personal property or real property at this time.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, at this time, I will ask the clerk to please read proposed resolution, what do we got next here? 24-R-31 by title only. My apologies.
Paperwork. Proposed Resolution 24-R-28, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether CTS Corporation are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-03-19, R-04-19, and R-05-19.
All right, at this time, I'll open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew, tell us about CTS.
So CTS was approved for a 5 and 5 in 2019. They turned in CF1s in 2020 and 2021, receiving benefits, and they have not been compliant since. And they did not turn CF1 this year. This is the final year they're phase-in, and the phase-in can just end, but we are having internal conversations about clawing back the benefits they received in 20 and 21.
So they submitted no paperwork for this year and last year?
That is correct.
Okay. Do they have a representative here?
They do not.
Okay. Any questions? Councilman Fish, any questions?
Nothing from me.
Councilman Curry, any questions?
Yes, you say they received financial assistance in 20 and 21, and when do we decide if we're going to ask that that be repaid?
We are having those internal conversations right now, and we will certainly keep council in the loop.
Okay, and could the council be told how much that dollar amount would be when you present that?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
At this time, I'll close discussion and ask for a motion.
I move that we deny proposed resolution number 24-R-28 with the finding that the property owner has not met the statement of benefits for both personal property and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Is Dexstar, which is no resolution. Okay, there's no resolution, so I will just open up discussion. Come on up, Drew. Tell us why we don't have a resolution for this one.
Dexstar has not completed their project, and we have had conversations with the company regarding directly terminating their phase-in, which would just be a single resolution for council.
Okay, so we have nothing to make a recommendation on today because we have no resolution, correct? You got any questions about this one? Councilman Curry, any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. At this time, we will move on to proposed resolution 24-R-31. I ask the clerk to read that by title only, please.
Proposed resolution 24-R-31, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Playcon Corporation are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-14-20, R-27-20, and R-28-20.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew, will you start us off about Playcon, please?
Playcon has made a considerable investment in real and personal property. They have an excellent facility. Toured it about a month ago. They are down, their industry is down, and they are at about 70% for new jobs added. They have not laid anyone off. This is due to industry downturn. There has been that decrease in the new jobs added. They've consistently been compliant the last 2 years of their phase in. We certainly recommend they are in compliance. They are confident that those new job numbers will bounce back up to the 90% compliance threshold. And we do have a representative from Playcon here this evening who can speak more to the company's project.
When does their ERA end?
Their ERA expired at the end of 22. The ERA is not relevant to the new jobs added as we measure the jobs every single year.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike Nielsen, General Manager, Playcon.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Questions?
Tell us a little bit about what's your, I guess the number, what's your percentage that's tied to RV? And
Zero.
Zero. Okay.
We make medical device packaging.
Okay. Is medical down?
Medical's not down. So, short story. We were affected some by COVID. Actually affected us kind of in a positive way. The biggest effect on our business was the winter storms in Texas in 2021. And that created a plastic supply debacle. One of my main raw materials is Tyvek, and I was on allocations for 2.5 years that just ended in September. What that created was my customers, the OEMs, DePuy, Zimmer Biomet, they hoarded for 2.5 years. And in November of last year, the entire industry realized they were full and hit the brakes. So we're down substantially this year. Jobs-wise, we peaked in May and June at 105, which would have put us in compliance, no problem. But that knee-jerk reaction, we're slow. We haven't laid anybody off. We're carrying a heavy workforce right now because we do expect Q3, Q4, things will start coming back. Hopefully it doesn't jerk back like it jerked down, but yeah, that's what happened to us.
We had good conversations in the past,
Yeah.
and then we're glad that you're still thriving, just waiting on the engine to kick back in.
Just waiting for it to come back.
I remember the 80s when I was in the publishing business, and paper costs went through the roof and supply was like non-existent.
Yeah.
Are you importing a lot of your material?
Don't import any. Most of my raw material either comes from Wisconsin, Massachusetts, and Wisconsin.
So it's just our internal market greediness.
It was, look, I sell.
I say that respectfully, folks.
Yeah.
Hoarding is one thing, but it affects other marketplaces.
So if you look at my products, my entire packaging system might cost an OEM $5, and they're putting a $3,000 implant in it. So if they can't get a $5 package for their $3,000 implant, they're going to buy everything they can get a hold of.
Okay. All right. Councilman Curry, any questions?
No question.
Okay. And this was real, personal, and property. Okay. Any further questions, Councilman Fish? All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I will close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-31 with a finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with the statement of benefits for personal property and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And I think the next one, we don't have a resolution as well. So, Drew, you want to walk us through that?
Trimlock had a 3-year personal property phase-in. Their ERA ended at the end of 23. The company confirmed that the project did not go forward. They did not complete it, and so they have agreed to termination. And they're similar to Dexstar. There will be a termination resolution for council, and it'll be just the one.
Okay. And did they receive benefits?
They did not receive benefits.
They received no benefits. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really have much to do with this one. Do you have any questions, Councilman Curry, Councilman Fish? All right, thank you very much. And then let's see, we have proposed resolution 24-R-33. Would the clerk please read that by title only?
Proposed resolution 24-R-33, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether FFUS Acquisition Corporation, DBA Tuscany Motor Company, TLMTG Properties, LLC, are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-50-18, R-53-18, and R-54-18.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I will open the floor for council discussion. Comments from Drew and comments from the company representative. Drew, would you please talk to us about Tuscany Motor Company?
Tuscany Motor Company has a 5-year real and 5-year personal property phase-in. They have been consistently compliant for real property. They are in their final year of their real property phase-in. They have not turned in for their personal property phase-in in several years, I believe since 21. But they have been consistently compliant for real property, and their only category where they are down is in retained jobs, but they knocked it out of the park with additional jobs. They are over 100% with new jobs added, and for that reason and their history of compliance, we do recommend that they are in compliance.
Thank you. Is there a representative from the company here?
Barger, Director of Human Resources for Fox Factory, DBA Tuscany Motor Company. We were a
Could you
family-owned...
please move into, thanks.
There you go, sorry. I'm usually loud, sorry. So no, we were a family-owned company until 2017, December, when Fox Factory, publicly traded Fox, purchased us. At that time, our current leadership maintained his position within company, Michael Graber. He left the company shortly after COVID hit and took his retirement after his package with Fox. When that happened, we had some senior leadership that followed with him just because of the legacy that they had with him and the relationship they didn't have with Fox Factory. So the retained jobs is a little bit down. We have done nothing but continue to grow, even through COVID, the chip shortage with vehicles. So we take brand new F-150s, F-250s, Ram and GM as well, and we upfit them. So we take brand new trucks like you would get at EB Ford, and we do the Shelby trucks and the Harleys. So really cool product that we do. But the chip shortage was tough for us. And then also last year, the strikes, because we were hesitant to take on too many new people because with the strikes, it could affect any of our plants coming out of Missouri or Dearborn for the trucks that we receive from Ford. We're very heavy predominantly here in Elkhart. So we have continued to add where we can, but we definitely have tapered off. After the 4th of July, we have 10 new people that are going to start at our Elkhart facility and are production-based. Last year, we did hold off from any of the positions. From a corporate standpoint, going into the high interest rates, we held off from backfilling too many roles unless it was a revenue-generating role. So from a company standpoint, we held back from those. Some of those roles we're starting to add in now.
Thank you. Questions?
Yeah. So you do make a good product.
You make an amazing product.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cool product.
It's quite striking, when you see them on the road. One of the challenges, though, is the marketplace again. Are you? And this is an off the wall question, but are you going to gear up for some sort of electric vehicle eventually?
So EV was a heavy push in 23. Starting in 24, all the manufacturers are backing off because there isn't the infrastructure to support EV across the nation. So even our manufacturers, Ford and GM, are really kind of backed off a little bit. Ram got themselves in a ton of trouble going into EV. They kind of backed off from their trucks and their other vehicles, and that's why Stellantis is struggling as much as they are. So yes, we have prototyping in EV. Are we going there anytime soon? Absolutely not.
So with that being said, and that's just a curiosity
Yeah, but no, we
question.
are prototyping for it, but it's just the need isn't, the demand's not there.
So with the production that we saw drop off at COVID, and there was a big vacuum in all motorized vehicles. Are they coming around? I mean, even you go around the lots, the new lots have very few new cars compared to what they used to have.
So the vehicles that we produced over 3,000 vehicles last year out of just the Elkhart location. Our product is it is a discretionary, but the customer, the end game customer is your top tier. They're going to spend their money whether the economy is good or bad, because the people that are buying this product are well off typically because it's a $150,000 truck. And who's going to take that to the fields?
Well, that's right, and good for them. Good for them,
so
and
for
good for you.
Elkhart, our location, we really, unless we have an OEM issue, we usually don't see too many issues with moving our vehicles.
And
we're producing 15 a day right now.
And if I could continue, my question is, you're not having that supply problem, okay? Because there's always gaps in some of the companies we talk with. You've got such a big volume. I mean, I think that's a pretty good volume. So.
Yeah, so Ford, they'll struggle with recalls, and that'll hold production for us at times. But Ford was actually on site today because we're going to partner with a new project with them that's going to roll out in September.
So where do you...
Yeah, it's super cool, but I can't say anything.
So, excuse me, where do you search for employees then?
Honestly, if it is an administrative indirect labor position, typically we go through Indeed. We have recruiters across the nation that will bring in candidates for us. If it is a production-based role, typically we pay very well. We have pretty much lined up. So we make announcement in our production lead meetings if we have any openings, and typically there's referrals that people have that are people waiting to get in the door. So that's everybody that I'm hiring in July is all referral based.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Curry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I'd just like to say that I'm very familiar with your product. I've seen all the trucks sitting there and wish I could get one. But Yeah, you are down a little bit as far as retaining new jobs, but this wage increase of 316.1%, how did that happen if you're down? People are working overtime or what?
Well, so, sorry, I'm just writing my zip code here so I don't mess that up. So what happened there in April of '22, we saw a huge increase. So Fox is publicly traded. We were the only site that wasn't competitively paying a production pool. We were hourly based. So to make us like our sister companies and to make us competitive, we went to a production pay pool. At that point, we do time studies and we look at the value of every process that goes into that unit. Thankfully, the site here in Elkhart does the royalty units, so those are big dollars with Shelby, American, and Harley. And so it literally took my employees from making $800 a week to up to like $3,000 a week. So it's all just because the company was a little money hungry before and they decided to pony up and start paying the employees properly.
Always good to see.
Well, I'm glad to hear that all the money's not at the top, it's spread out
Yeah,
over
so
the
it was,
workers.
and it was, you know, from my position, you know, meeting with employees, there was a lot of disbelief in what it was going to look like. But we've been doing it since April of '22, and it's worked really well. And it's based off the unit count. So if units are down, then they understand their pay is down just like any other production pool. But this site does very well with that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So question for Drew on that wage change. I know that there's certain changes to wages such as bonuses, commissions, and things like that that are not counted towards wages. Does that change in the way they're paid fall into that, or is everything still good as far as we're concerned?
For clarity, do you mind repeating those?
Yeah,
Just
so
one more time.
the way we call it production pool, they are paid a lower hourly wage, and then we take a calculation of every unit that is produced during that pay period. So over a 10-day working period, we calculate the units they produce. We take that money, we put it into a pool based off their position. We have 5 different tiers, and we take that money and distribute it evenly across those pools. So if you're a tier 3, every tier 3, whether you were putting on running boards or whether you were doing dash kits, you're going to make the same money, production pay-wise, and your hourly rate is the same.
Okay, so it's not considered a
It is-
bonus or a
No,
commission?
and
or
we
anything.
actually, those dollars are 401k eligible, so they're not excluded from any of our benefits either. So we consider it true income.
Thank you.
Follow up with Drew, that's something you can actually calculate on your sheets. I mean, the detail is there enough from them to make that an honest statement here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. The reason why the question is on the floor is because we've had a couple of customers in the past, or I should say partners, who have just thrown everything in to make numbers look good. And the honest number is, if you pay somebody $35 an hour, that's what it should be on this sheet, because that's what we actually have to be responsible for. That's all we do. That's why we're asking the questions.
And I understand that might be challenging sometimes because some weeks you produce more than others. And I'm sure that you can have that conversation with Drew to figure out what a good average would be. Or
So every pay period, we do a SOX compliance. Since we are publicly traded, we have to have a full audit on it every year. So it's very, very audited every single pay period. It has to go through 3 checks and balances to make sure we're fairly paying everybody and it's consistent across the board.
Excellent.
Thank you for
So
that.
I can pull any of that data.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay. Any other questions? Being no more questions at this time, I will close discussion and ask for a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-33 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with their benefits statement for personal property, or I'm sorry, real property.
Personal or real there? Is it personal and real?
They have a 5-year real and 5-year personal. However, we are just reviewing their real property. They did not turn in a personal property CF1.
I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. that, I believe, ends the non-compliant. So we will move on to compliant companies. And we are starting with 24-R-18. Angie, would you please read that by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-18, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Alliance RV LLC, Three Creek LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution numbers R-08-21, R-13-21, and R-14-21.
All right, thank you. I'm going to open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative if one decided to be here today. Drew, would you talk to us about Alliance RV 2021?
For Alliance RV, they hit it out of the park in all their metrics. We had an excellent tour about a month ago. Saw the facilities and the equipment for both projects, and they are compliant in all categories. There is a map for both phase-ins that shows the boundaries of both and where some of the overlap is for council's reference.
Okay, thank you. But they're considered separate parcels?
Oh, yes. I do believe there is some overlap, and that is shown in the it's shown in there. But they're certainly two separate projects, and I've been out there this year and last year and seen the difference.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
All
Great
right.
numbers.
Seeing no questions at this time, I will close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-18 with the finding that the property owners are in substantial compliance with both personal and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Angie, would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-17 by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-17, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Alliance RV LLC, Three Creek LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution numbers R-8-19, R-9-19, and R-10-19.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I'll open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew, tell us about this second Alliance RV.
They are certainly in compliance in all categories, and at a wonderful site visit, seeing the facility and really cool company, an RV startup started in 2019, and we've been really impressive facilities. I would certainly suggest if you guys are interested, I'm sure they'd be open to a tour sometime. It is very cool.
Okay, thank you very much. I see here for the number of additional employees, they predicted 175, and it's exactly 175. I mean, you don't always see it exactly where it is all the time. Just something to note there, I guess.
I certainly understand. I can certainly follow up with their controller.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes. The IT equipment, what happened there?
They were under for IT equipment, but they knocked it out of the park in every other personal property category. So for personal property, we typically take the view of the entire total personal property. And so if they're down in one category, they made up for it in manufacturing equipment and in other categories. That was our view. I'm happy to reach out and ask why there wasn't substantial investment in IT equipment.
Okay, well, I know that question is going to come up when this go back to the full council.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for the record, if the representative is here, we could probably get a little more detail, but since they're in substantial compliance, and when is their ERA expired? They got
their ERA for For their 2021, it's at the end of this year. I'd certainly double check that detail, but I'm pretty sure it's the end of this year. And their older one, I believe, was the end of 22.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So they're still in their ERA. They can still invest in personal property equipment that is eligible for phase-in benefits.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions at this time? Seeing no questions, I will close discussion and ask for a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-17 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance both with personal property and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Angie, would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-19 by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-19, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Alpha Systems LLC, DBS LLC, are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution numbers R-43-20, R-44-20, and R-45-20.
Thank you. At this time, I will open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from any company representatives that may be here. Drew, talk to us about Alpha Systems.
Alpha Systems is they have a 3-year real and 3-year personal property phase-in. They are compliant in all categories. They're in their final year for their personal property, and then for their real property, they received a waiver of non-compliance in the fall. There were inconsistent details on the city's end and in the application materials when the phase-in was approved, and so the incorrect parcel was assessed, and then we took direction to remedy that situation, and so they will be receiving the benefits they would have received the last 3 years over the next 3 years. I went out and saw the new building, 5140 Beck Drive. It's excellent. Very great tour. Saw the equipment. Saw the whole project, and I'd like to know that Patrick Industries acquired Alpha in 21. And one final item: to receive those benefits each year retroactively, they will be going through this process. They will be turning in CF1s.
Thank you. And just looking at these new jobs total wages, that's a 1,237.6% compliance rate. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
That's pretty good also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions, comments at this time?
I'm just very impressed with the fact that they were able to adjust marketplace adjustment, and we got that non-compliance part taken care of, so we have accurate numbers, but also they're kicking it out of the ballpark here.
Yes, sir.
Because they just got it going. They got their act together.
We certainly agree.
Absolutely. Okay.
No,
Being no other comments or questions at this time, I will close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-19 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with both personal and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. At this time, I will ask the clerk to please read proposed resolution 24-R-20 by title only.
Proposed Resolution 24-R-20, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether American Millwork LLC, Nickel Properties I LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits, personal property, and the Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution numbers R-07-21, R-11-21, and R-12-21.
Thank you. Yes.
Just a clarification, Angie. Is it I or is it one? In their title. Nickel Properties I, Roman numeral 1.
I'm not sure. I'll take a look at the resolution.
I just wanted, for the record, to be clear.
John and I think it's Roman numeral 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I will open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew, talk us through American Millwork LLC.
American Millwork is a 3-year personal property phase-in. They knocked it out of the park, and automated equipment. Wonderful, wonderful company. Very cool site visit, and they are compliant in all categories.
Okay, any questions?
No, doing good.
Seeing no questions, having none myself, I will close discussion and ask for a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-20 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with personal property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Angie, would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-24 by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-24, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether EOZ Business LLC are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits and the memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-37-20, R-39-20, and R-40-20.
Going to open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from the company representative. Drew, talk to us about EOZ Business, please.
EOZ Business is a local real estate developer. They constructed the building at 240 East Jackson that was completed in 2022. They have a 5-year real property phase-in, and they are compliant in all categories.
Are there any questions? Councilman Fish?
No, not really.
Nope. Okay, at this time, I'm going to close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution, I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-24 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Angie, would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-23 by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-23, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Flexible Concepts, Inc. are in substantial compliance with its statement of benefits, personal property, and the memorandum of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-51-21, R-57-21, and R-58-21.
Thank you. Going to open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from company representatives. Drew, please walk us through Flexible Concepts Incorporated.
Flexible Concepts has a 5-year personal property phase-in. They are off Nippock Parkway here in Elkhart. They are compliant in all categories. A very cool company. Lots of automated equipment, and like I said, compliant in all categories. Hit it out of the park.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Fish, any questions? No. Councilman Curry?
No.
All right, at this time, I will close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-23 with the finding that the property that the property owner is in substantial compliance with personal property. Yeah, personal property only.
I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Angie, would you please read proposed resolution 24-R-29, please?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-29, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Chemcrest LLC, La Isla Bonita Properties LLC are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and memoranda of agreement approved under resolution numbers R-47-16, R-49-16, and R-50-16.
Thank you. This time, I will open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from any company representatives. Drew, would you please walk us through Chemcrest?
Chemcrest is in the final year of their 7-year real property phase, and they had a 5-year personal property that has since expired. They they have they're compliant in all categories. They had a waiver of noncompliance this year to receive benefits they would have received in 22, pay 23. They'll be receiving those benefits next year, assuming they are compliant when they submit a CF1.
Questions at this time, Councilman Fish?
No.
At this time, I will close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-29 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with their statement for real property.
I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Angie, will you please read proposed resolution 24-R-30 by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-30, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Marsan International LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits forms and Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-04-22, R-06-22, and R-07-22.
I'm going to open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and any comments from the company representative. Drew, walk us through Marsan International LLC.
So Morrison has a 3-year real and 3-year personal property tax phase-in. They knocked it out of the park. They are compliant in all categories. Lots of automated equipment. Very, very impressive facility. This is the first year their real property phase-in and the second year their personal property phase-in. The reason for that is they were not assessed for their real property last year. There was an issue with some building permits, and they were officially assessed this year. This has been confirmed by the county, rendering this year the first year they're phasing for real property.
So the assessment, did it throw off the benefit?
It did throw off the benefit. And
Are we extending out? How is that going to reconcile?
it reconciled between our two offices, between the auditor's office and our office, simply because they were not assessed. They will receive the trigger for CF1 compliance is the assessment that begins the abatement schedule. Since they weren't assessed, the schedule starts this year. They will receive 100% benefit this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Questions at this time? Questions? All right. Seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution 24-R-30 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with both real estate and personal property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Angie, could you please read proposed resolution 24-R-26 by title only?
Proposed Resolution 24-R-26, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Tepe Sanitary Supply, Inc., T5 LLC are in substantial compliance with its Statement of Benefits and the Memorandum of Agreement approved under Resolution Numbers R-50-20, R-54-20, and R-55-20.
At this time, I'll open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and any comments from the company representative. Drew, will you please walk us through, is it TEPI or TP?
It's my understanding it's TP.
TP, Sanitary Supply.
So TP Sanitary Supply is a 3-year real property phase-in. They were acquired by Imperial Dade a couple years ago. I believe it was this last year, but TP is 89.4% compliance. There's a $1.2 million investment. They're extremely close to the 90% compliance threshold. Our view is this is an excellent investment into our city that has wonderful long-term implications. And despite being just below the 90% compliance threshold, we recommend that they are in compliance. I would like to note this is the final year of their phase-in.
They have till the end of the year for ERA, or when did
their ERA expired at the end of 22. They do not have additional time, but
okay. I know this was a discussion last year.
Yeah, we had a couple of years here where things were a little, I guess, unstable because of their transition. But I believe, based on what I've read, it looks like, and of course they're active in the business community. So I see that they are stabilizing the business part of it, and that's a good thing. So, thank you.
All right. Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that it's good to see when these wages are up, that people are making a good living in our communities. We appreciate TP doing that.
Absolutely. Okay. Seeing no other comments or questions, I'll close discussion and entertain a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution 24-R-26 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with statement of benefits for real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, question for you here. Drew, on here, we don't have, I think it's Truma, but we do have it in the packet.
It's on the agenda is is two-sided.
Ah, it's snuck there. No problem.
I tried to get on one page, and it just didn't happen.
It's no problem. I was just looking at the script here, and I was like, hold on, wait a second. That's okay. We got one more.
Me too.
Okay, Angie, could you please read proposed resolution 24-R-32 by title only?
Proposed resolution 24-R-32, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Elkhart, Indiana, determining whether Truma Corp. 42K Real Estate LLC are in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and Memoranda of Agreement approved under resolution numbers R-04-18, R-09-18, and R-10-18.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will open the floor for council discussion, comments from Drew, and comments from a company representative. Drew, will you walk us through Truma Corp. /42K Real Estate, please?
Truma Corporation is in the RV industry. They make high-end products for RVs. They have a 5-year real, 5-year personal property phase-in. They hit out of the park in all categories. They're compliant. They have a wonderful facility off County Road 6 that I greatly enjoyed touring, and they are compliant in all categories.
Any questions, comments at this time?
No, thanks.
I'll just say it's good to see new jobs total wages at 321.4% of the original estimated. So that is always good to see. Seeing no other questions or comments, I will close discussion and ask for a motion.
I move to adopt proposed resolution number 24-R-32 with the finding that the property owner is in substantial compliance with the Statement of Benefits forms and for personal property and real property.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, I believe that is the last one, so this concludes the Tax Abatement Committee meeting. Or is there any?
I have one final item I'd want to mention.
Yes.
For Champion Manufacturing, I misspoke. So they have a 5-year real and 3-year personal. Last year, their 3-year was last year. So they are not up for personal property this year. I just wanted to mention that detail. The final year for personal property was last year.
This was who again?
Champion Manufacturing.
Okay, and that was one of the non-compliant?
Yep. Yeah. They were our fourth one, I believe.
24-R-27 on page 3 for you.
Gotcha. Okay, any questions on that or anything? Okay, thanks, Drew. At this time, that concludes the Tax Abatement Committee. Thank you, everyone, for attending and all the company representatives that came and anyone watching online. Thank you.